Welcome to Insights to Strength. I'm your host, J Love, and this podcast was curated to remind you that you are not your circumstance. Join me as I encourage you through the Word of God, help you to identify your strengths, and vocally walk alongside you in purpose. Good morning, seekers, and happy Wednesday. What? So listen, a friend of mine, as you all know, and a faithful follower, right, recently sent a post to me. And they stated that certain things can't be planted and certain things can't grow in a certain season. And when God replants you, he is rebuilding you. So what he has placed inside of you would not die. So I sat and I pondered on that for a moment. And while I was thinking, I began to I considered my move, right, from Wisconsin to the South. And then I began to see a visualization of my plant, right, who I have named Jasmine. And this is the thought that occurred. Now, when I had to repot my plant, she initially, in her new potting space, she was limp, right? And I chose not to water her right away because I didn't want to overwater her and cause her to die. And so I waited until the plant dried out, and then I placed new water inside of her. And a couple of days go by, and I realized that, oh, hey girl, you got new leaves, right? You got new leaves on you. And I, rejoiced and was excited about it. Right, so I talked to my plants, right? So I got excited about her having her new leaves and everything. And then on, I believe, Saturday or Sunday, I looked at her again and realized that she's now standing taller and she's standing more firm, right? Which is a signal to me that, hey, the repotting process was successful. So, again, looking and thinking on what I've been sent this morning, she said certain things can't be planted and certain things can't grow in a certain season, right? And that when God replants you, he is rebuilding you. So what he placed inside of you would not die. I didn't water her right away because I didn't want her to die. That's the first thought that came to mind. And then the second thought that came was that when he replants you, or when I had to repot her, i.e. replant her, I had to change her environment, right? When I had to move from Wisconsin to the South, the Lord had to change my environment. So everything that we are used to, the different relationships, the resources that we are used to are no longer the same, and everything that I once knew no longer exists. As someone who is kind of beginning to understand the replanting process and what it means to be uprooted and start afresh and start anew, it doesn't at all always feel comfortable. But in order for the growth to be extended or for growth to happen, the environments have to change, right? So when he replants you, he has to change your environment. And that understanding does not always come right away. But as you take root in your new space, you will be strengthened and you will grow stronger and you will begin to see and receive your new leaves, your new flowers, right? And grow more beautiful and taller in that new space. But sometimes, as it was with the plant, and even as I have had to experience, you may appear weak, but you're not weak. You're being strengthened. So it is only for a little while that you will look like you are weak, or that you look, or the things on the outside appear as though you are being defeated, but not so. That is not at all that is not at all the case. A couple of months ago, in February, I believe, to be exact, while doing the lives of Morning Love, the Lord reminded me and had me to share with other people that it is not at all as it appears. Again, I thought I had to wait to water her because I didn't want to shock her into a death, right? My plant. I didn't want to shock her into death. So I waited until she dried out before giving her, before watering her. You're not dead. You're being revived. I hope that this encourages you today. I want you to keep praying, keep pressing, and stand tall. It's not at all as it appears. Hey, Seekers. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. You could even send a voicemail by clicking the link in our show notes. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at Insights to Strength. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.